we all have disadvantages in our life. Like some people have bigger disadvantages, some have smaller disadvantages, and there's like basically two things you can do. You can either like be mad about your disadvantages, trying to neglect your disadvantages, trying to hide them, be jealous of people who have advantages, people who you think they have it better than you, or you can really acknowledge them and know what they are, and then get going. And I think one of the things that helped me the most when I started writing and putting my content and myself out there was that I had not only one disadvantage. I mean, it's not a big disadvantage, but it still helped me to put things into perspective. Like when I started writing and putting my content out there, I was like basically I had no clue about writing. Like I almost failed high school because my essays were so bad. And that's the disadvantage I have is it's not necessarily a disadvantage, but um, you know it taught me that I had to put in more work because I was like English is not my mother tongue. German is my mother tongue, so I knew I had to put in a hell of a lot more work than everybody else. I had to be more consistent, but at the same time also be more authentic because my English is not so good, so I cannot really compete with with native speakers. But still, at the end of the day, I'm targeting the same people. I have the exact same audience, and the only thing that I could bet on was like to work smarter and harder than everybody else. And the way I worked smarter was that I had to double down on authenticity. I couldn't just produce perfect videos. I cannot produce like perfect blog posts. I had to find my own style and my own niche because as I said, there's no chance I could compete with them. I had to find my own niche. I had to use my disadvantages and create them into some sort of advantages, and that's what helped me tremendously over the past couple of years because I knew that I had to put in the work. I knew that nothing will come easy. I knew that it would take a lot of time. I knew that I wasn't entitled to anything. I knew who I was competing with. I knew that I would probably never be able to produce a video that might look like Gary Vaynerchuk, that I might never be able to write a blog post like James Altucher because I don't live in New York. Right now I'm sitting in a sort of like public library space in Bangkok. I don't have a social media agency like Gary Vaynerchuk and can afford to hire tens or 20, 30, or hundreds of people that follow me around and shoot videos. So, like, what you could do is you could really complain about all the disadvantages and everybody else, like, has advantages and has it so much better, or you just could acknowledge them and get down to work because you've got to put in more work than everybody else. So, whenever you feel like you have disadvantages, maybe you live in a country, maybe you think, oh, I'm not living in Silicon Valley. Maybe you think, oh, I don't have an American passport, or I don't have like not the citizenship, or whatever it is. At the end of the day, it's all about a matter of perspective. You could see it as a disadvantage, or you could see it as what it is. It's your reality, and the only way to like get to the next stage is to acknowledge your reality and then execute on your reality and do the things you have to do, and don't just sit there and be like, oh, I'm not there. I don't have this. I don't have funding. I don't have X, Y, Z. I don't have an audience. Get down to business. Build an audience. Build whatever it is, and turn your disadvantage into your own personal advantage.